we're going to start reviewing triangles. Remember, we have a test coming up. So the first part is determine if the two triangles are congruent. If they are, state how you know. Let me go over the rules that we talked about. One of them was called side, side, side. That means that two triangles, I must have all three sides marked on each triangle. So keep in mind, I'm saying marked. I'm not asking what do the triangles have, because each triangle has three sides and three angles, right? Three corners. That's what they have. I'm asking what is marked. All right. So another rule that we had was side, angle, side. So I marked two sides and the angle in between. Now the angle in between means the angle where the two sides meet. Now another rule that we had was angle, side, angle. So I have two angles and the side in between. We also have angle, angle, side. I have two angles in a side, but the side is not in between the angles. Now, there was one rule that we talked about that was side, side, angle, right? Two sides and the angle not in between. Side, side angle is not a good rule unless the angle is 90 degrees. But then we don't call it side, side angle. We call it hypotenuse leg, so HL. Then we also talked about the rule angle, angle, angle. Now, angle, angle, angle shows two triangles having the same shape, but not necessarily the same size. Congruent means same shape, same size. So angle, angle, angle does not work. So side, side angle is not a good rule. We call it HL if the angle is 90 degrees. And angle, angle, angle is not a good rule. If we get any of those, then we call it not congruent. Now, looking at question number 15. I can mark the side that they both share, right? If the side is used by both triangles, I can mark the side. If the angles make an X, I'm talking about something like this, then I can mark the opposite angles. Right? If the angles make an X, I can mark them. If the side is used by both triangles, I can mark the side. Now, looking at the triangles that I have, let me take a look at one triangle. Let me highlight it in green. Once again, I'm looking at what is marked. I marked the sides with slashes, and I marked the angles with little arcs. Remember, angles are the corners. In this case, I have two sides marked. You guys see the two sides that I have marked. There's one, there's the other one. So I have two sides marked. Then I ask myself, is the angle between the sides? For the angle to be between the sides, the angle will be where the two sides meet. In this case, it is. So I'm going to put the A in the center. Side angle side is a good rule. So that's all I type in. Quickly take a look at the other triangle. Make sure it is marked the same way. If it's marked different, then not congruent, right? They both must be marked the same way. Now let's take a look at number 16. State what additional information is required in order to know that the triangles are congruent for the reason given. So I'm giving you a rule. I want this to be side, angle, side. So two sides and the angle in between. From the three marks that you're supposed to have, I don't have one. That's what I'm asking. What additional information is required? I'm missing one mark. My question here is, what am I missing? If there's a side used by both triangles, just mark it. You don't need that one. That's already given. If the angles make an X, just mark it. That one's given. Now, in this case, remember, I need two sides and the angle in between. From the triangle on the left, the side that I'm missing is this side, right? That's what it will make it side, angle, side. Looking at the second triangle, the side that I'm missing is this one. Now, when it comes to sides, I use two letters. So I'm going to say the side IJ, I'm missing the side IJ, or JI, the order of the letters does not matter, equals, on the other triangle, I'm missing the side ED, or DE, the order does not matter. And once again, that's all I'm missing. When it comes to sides, we use two letters. When it comes to angles, we use three letters. Sometimes people use just one letter, but we tend to use three. Okay. Now looking at number 17. 17 and 18, we have the same idea. I'm going to be dealing with the angles of a triangle. It says find the measure of each angle indicated. I see a question mark. We learned in Algebra 1 that when we don't know something, we don't know the value of something, right? The question mark. When we don't know something, we replace it with the letter. In this case, let me replace this with x. So my question here is solve for x. Find out what x is. Now what I'm going to do is, I know if I add all three angles of the triangle. So let me go x plus 35 plus 70. Let me add them all three, and it's going to equal to 180, right? The three angles of a triangle add up to 180. Now it looks like a simple algebra question. Let me separate them through the equal sign. When it comes to x, I just have an x. When it comes to numbers, 35 plus 70, that's 105. And this is equal to 180. To have the x by itself, let me get rid of the 105. So instead of plus 105, let me move it to the other side as a minus 105. Don't forget opposite signs. And then I'm just going to have that x is equal to 180 minus 105, that's 75. For your homework, just type in 75. You don't have to type in x equals, just 75. Same idea will be used here in number 18. If you notice, we're dealing with the three angles of a triangle. Now, what I'm going to do, let me add everything. 61 plus 74 plus 5x plus 5. I'm adding everything, and it is equal to 180. The three angles of a triangle add up to 180. Let me separate them through the equal sign. When it comes to x on the left, I just have positive 5x. Numbers wise, 61 plus 74 plus 5, that is 140. So let me go plus 140 equals 180. All right, to have the x term, the term that has the x, to have it by itself, let me get rid of the 140. So let me move it to the other side. Don't forget to switch the sign, right? Opposite sign. So I have that 5x equals 40. Now to have the x by itself, let me divide both sides by 5. X in this case is 8. So when you're dealing with the three angles of a triangle, you're just going to add them all, and it equals 180. Now here, state if the three numbers can be the measures of the sides of a triangle. The numbers you're given are not in any order. So don't think they go from small to large or large to small. They don't. It's just a list of three numbers. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add the two smaller numbers. You can compare the numbers. We can see the two smaller numbers are 11 and 8. So I'm going to add 11 plus 8. And my result has to be bigger than the third side. So what I'm asking is 11 plus 8 more than 21. Right? It could not be less than 21. It cannot equal to 21. It has to be bigger than 21. Right? Is 11 plus 8 more than 21? My answer is no. I cannot make a triangle. Right? I remember this, I showed you guys using Sketchpad when I was moving the two sides, trying to see if I could make a triangle out of it. Don't forget to capitalize the first letter. Now, if 11 plus 8 was more than 21, then yes, I can make a triangle. Now, what if I only give you two sides? So two sides of a triangle have the following measures. Find the range of possible measures for the third side. Give me the values that the third side can be. I'm going to call it x because I don't know the value. I'm going to put in between two less than signs. I'm going to say x in this case is a number that has to be between 0 and 16. The way I came out with the 0 and 16 is the numbers given, I subtracted my numbers. And that's how I came out with the 0. I added my numbers, and that's how I came out with 16. So x in this case is between 0 and 16. That's for your first homework.